All right, people, we're here for the penultimate week of BHDL 6 of the regular season. I'm joined by Scorpion once again. How's it going, buddy?
I'm doing great, Emerald. What's going on, everyone? My name is Scorpion, and welcome to our BHDL Season 6 Week 8 recap. As Emerald said, we are nearly nearing the end of the regular season right here. It's been a wild ride, but yeah, we're here for another recap and here to watch another really cool set of games. We've got Aprater versus H.I.M here. What are you thinking of from Team Preview, Emerald?
Well, of course, Adam's got to bring two Mirror Herbs. I mean, it's just natural. They've got the Dragon Dance Gyarados over there. We got the lead Rampardos here. This is a powerful Mon, brother.
Absolutely. We're going to see a Trailblaze come off the bat here straight away. We're actually once again seeing quite an aggressive approach from Aprater side. I believe this is actually the first time he's brought a Tatsugiri off the bench as well. So we're just to see how that does. Going to go for a Trailblaze here as we see a Mirror Herb from
The
from
Mirror opposing
side.
Mirror HIM. I got to bring some Mirror Herbs too. The foul play comes off Rampardos' massive attack stat, but garbage defense stats the one move that counters it.
Absolutely, the perfect target for a foul play there. Lovely tech from HIM. They're getting the speed boost and then the one-hit kill with the foul play on the Rampardos. Their beautiful interaction there from HIM. That was absolutely like brilliantly thought out. Like fighting fire with fire, literally. I love that.
Incredible. And they've already shown Taunt, presumably trying to stop a Stealth Fox, but now they also have it threatening Zerackmanid, so Adam's going to try to just go for the Liquidation straight away, get some more damage on this thing, and let's see what happens.
Absolutely, we do indeed see a taunt come off. Obviously, Aprater expecting that, not wanting to go for stick whips, and Liquidation does do a good chunk to the Alolan Persian, but I think it's actually surprisingly bulky and not going to go down just yet. I wonder if going for Leech Life might have been the better play there, but you know, Water Bubble is a crazy ability, so it might have honestly just done about the same damage. But we'll see how much Foul Play is now going to do to this Rakwanid, or indeed we're going to actually see a Parting Shot come out instead. So let's see if HIM can pivot safely into this Rakwanid here.
I mean, HIM's playing this Subversion, pretty perfectly, stopping the setup, and now you can get something else in.
Absolutely. We're going to see the Dragology switch into a Liquidation here. Not going to do much damage whatsoever. That actually does force Adam to switch, presumably. And HIM can potentially get momentum back on that. You know, we can potentially flip them out, or we can even drop a Draco. There are no fairies on.
Yeah, show me your switch-ins, brother.
Absolutely. So we're going to see the Hisuian Braviary coming. Actually does have, you know, surprisingly good defense, as I was about to say. But you know what? I'm going to eat my words because that thing just drops to a Draco Meteor. I don't even know if that's choice specs, but adaptability, Dragology is a threat, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, and listen, this thing has had the best season. I mean, it's missed some Dracos, it's gotten paired and things happen to it. So glad to see this Dragology finally putting in some work.
Absolutely, HIM definitely finding its stride there to try and you know, get that Draco Meteor in position and fires it off for that clean, cold one-hit KO here. However, that does actually leave Adam the opportunity to get webs up, obviously not being able to taunt it in time again. So we'll see if he's able to you know, go for a comeback here. Obviously, we are going to see the Persian now being stacked up, which will give HIM some more switching initiative, but webs could be crucial, you know, definitely against Adam's team.
Absolutely. Does have a bit of he does have the sack advantage though, HIM does. He still's got all 6 Pokemon. Raiders lost 2 already, so let's see what's gonna happen.
Absolutely, we're going to see the Parting Shot out into the Avalok, actually, which is a really solid wall for this Araquanid. It does not care about the stickers, and I think it was actually Boots as well. Adam does have the Surf tech on it, which is absolutely amazing. Obviously targeting that thing on its weaker special defense, but able to take that relatively well. HIM probably put a bit of special defense investment in it, and is able to get the Rapid Spin off, which means these sticker webs are already gone.
Yep, he's about to get him back up again though. But he can just keep on forcing switches because now he's ready to drop another Draco.
Absolutely. Obviously, Dragology not the fastest Pokemon in the world, so it will have to take a Liquidation first, but obviously he does resist dual stab, so it is able to take that comfortably, not even knocking it below half, actually, and that Draco Meteor will annihilate the Araquanid. Adam is already down to his last 3 Pokemon.
Absolutely incredible. The Piloswine is in, threatening that ground-type coverage. Well, it's also weak to ice as well, so we'll see what's going to happen.
Absolutely. I do really dig the offensive Piloswine moveset here, obviously. We're going to see a little bit of a budget Mamoswine, essentially. We're going to use that strong stab combination to really try and punch some holes. No Violite, you know, bulky Shenanigans here. And we're going to see the Oblivious come out as well. And the Freeze Dry tech to catch Gyarados on its 4 times super effective weakness there, courtesy of obviously being a water type, so it is quad weak to that move specifically. Great play from Adam there, catching the Gyarados coming in and denying it the opportunity to set up. So now he's going to be able to generate some momentum off this.
Yep, that puts H.I.M a bit on the back foot now as Aprater tries to take advantage. Pull a switch. Now the Lucario is in.
Absolutely. We are obviously going to see a difficult decision from H.I.M there, and he's actually going to be forced to finally take down the Alola version there. Honestly, it might have been a good thing, because if you hit this thing with foul play, you could potentially go on a justified boost. But now Tauros is going to come here. Its speed is going to fall. Oh, it's actually inner focus. Do correct me. Do excuse me.
Yeah.
But yeah, this Tauros is actually now in a really, really tough spot as well, because as we can see, there's no real switches to a close combat.
Yeah, if Adam had Sword Stance on that Lucario, it might have honestly been over. I mean, Aprater could have just won from there, because he can't intimidate. He can't get intimidated.
Absolutely. Unfortunately, that was not quite the case. We're going to force the Pilot Shrine sack here. Obviously, that thing's not living a close combat without a Violite. And now it comes into Tatsugiri. Now, this thing does obviously have a really, really powerful stab combination. So depending on what H.I.M does here, this Nasty Plot could potentially come in real clutch.
Absolutely. Threatening that strong surf, suspecting the switch out, so it could potentially get set up, and having those webs up is going to be excellent for this Tatsugiri. Mon that we don't usually get to see.
Absolutely, but unfortunately, it appears that this Tauros is actually scuffed, so it will outspeed the Tatsugiri despite the speed drop, and that Nasty Plot is severely going to go punished. H.I.M probably recognizing that he can't afford to let this thing set up, and actually stay in to punish it with a close combat. Beautifully played, and another close combat will easily take the Tatsugiri out. So, yeah, I'm a big fan of those little dynamics there. You've got the setup sweeper in against something that, threatens it out. So it's a bit like, do you sack it off, not wanting to let that thing set up and potentially lose the game, or do you switch out to preserve your Pokemon, but then potentially risk them setting up free? It's a really deadly 50-50 call that I feel like we see a lot in these games.
Absolutely. Obviously, they do have the E-Speed to threaten this thing, so you can easily switch it out and again get it back in later for the Lucario.
Yep, we do have the Zen Headbutt on deck though, as coverage for the Tauros, which is excellent prep from Adam's side. Avalok is chipped to left at so despite its titanic physical bulk, will not be able to take on the Lucario, and a Drain Punch is enough to take it out. But now Tauros comes back in fresh. Obviously, Intimidate is not going to work, but still Lucario absolutely going to get one-shotted by a Raging Bull or close combat here. And Raging Bull, yep, does come off, and Lucario speed that is not the greatest. That is a solid win for H.I.M there with Scarf Tauros. Last week we saw Band popping off, and this week we saw Scarf popping off. I'm loving the way that that H.I.M is piloting this bull recently. But GG's.
Absolutely. And yes, a 4-0 win, much needed for that differential going into the last week. So now H.I.M still hanging on to that slight chance of being able to make it to playoffs.
Yes, sir.
All right, we're here for Captain B-Nard versus DrVr. We've got, we do have both the Hawlucha and the Weezing. Once again, although there is Scarf Lucha, so we'll see what's going to happen. What do you think, Scorp?
Definitely solid teams for both sides. I really like the fact that DrVr seems to be quite comfortable with this new Monty strategy. He's been using the Cramorant and the Tauros quite well ever since he picked them up. And I'm also very, very keen to see what this V-Volt is going to do, because as far as I'm aware, DrVr runs anything but sticky web sets on that thing. And it's funny because there's actually, if we look at V-Volt offensively here in this game, there's no real switch into, the thing's dual stapless energy ball. I mean, it could potentially put in some work with that massive special attack stab, but we do have AV Incineroar in play as well. So I think it's actually a pretty balanced matchup from Team Preview looking.
Yep, let's see. If they're Fear like you said, the Vikavolt, excellent matchup in summer, one of the few mons that could probably deal with it, threatening a Flare Blitz immediately, potentially. So I suspect DrVr is going to want to get the heck out of here.
Absolutely. Obviously, V-Volt is a pretty excellent mon. I've used it myself, but one of its disadvantages is that it's very, very slow. So I'm pretty sure even a bulky Incineroar will easily be able to outspeed it. So, yep, no wanting to take the fake out into the Flare Blitz. B-Nard obviously preparing for a potential Sash V-Volt. Great prep. But DrVr is going to find the position into a bulky Tauros, it would seem, with Intimidate, which actually gets some crucial chip on Incineroar with Rocky Helmet. That could actually be huge for DrVr's game plan going into the game later. Like, getting Incineroar weakened could be really, really useful for some of his other Pokemon.
Yeah, defensive Tauros is interesting because they already have, one of the most physically bulky Pokemon in the Petrarunt, but that it's kind of weak to that Incineroar, so having the Tauros on the side for it, prepping for a lot of B-Nard's Pokemon.
Absolutely, and this is kind of what we were alluding to earlier. V-Volt threatening this entire team pretty well here. Actually pulls a spicy double out of the Incineroar and into the V-Volt again, which now threatens a big energy ball. Obviously, B-Nard is no stranger to V-Volt. He knows that this thing can carry energy ball, and you don't want to lose your Gastrodon to that. So it's going to be very interesting to see how he responds, because even if you do go Incineroar, you could potentially get Volt switched on.
Yeah, DrVr quickly turning the tables. They were on the back foot at the first turn, but now they've quickly managed to get some momentum here. Showing off the energy ball, obviously. We'll see how B-Nard is going to play around this now.
Absolutely. He did actually manage to find a position back into the Incineroar there and calling out the energy ball, which is great play. And now B-Nard's Incineroar is in prime position to go for that knockoff, which I think is actually going to be really, really helpful, because even if the Tauros does switch back in, which it does, you will be able to remove the Rocky Helmet, so you can at least stay around for a little bit longer. And a critical hit as well is very, very crucial there for getting the Tauros chip. That might be huge.
Big crit there. So very defensive. I mean, this is week 8, of course, and both of these players absolutely need a win here for their playoff chances. So I think right now they're just kind of both sizing each other up, scoping seeing how they play, because I think in the long game, knowing the right play is going to be crucial.
Absolutely here. I have noticed that generally in BHDL, we have these longer sort of games near the end of the season, for playoffs contention, and most of these battles kind of start out in this intense situation where both coaches are filling each other out. We have via DrVr there catching the Berserker there with an excellent neutral ground play on the Incineroar switching out, and that's now actually potentially going to force B-Nard to Terra here, which he could take advantage of later, but we'll see if he keeps the Tauros around.
Yep, you're going to use the Terra here. The Berserker taking so much chip is unfortunate on the Terra captain, but if they can get rid of this Tauros, I mean, might help out the Incineroar, but they are actually just going to switch out.
Yep, as the Petront actually comes back in there, and the right in the nick of time is this Berserker gets rid of its poison typing, so it can now be hit by Malignant Chain. Obviously, there might have been some other defensive merit to Terra Water in this game, but this thing is Rocky Helmet as well, so as you were alluding to earlier, he's kind of got both of the physical walls on deck this week, so really, really sort of getting the right things chipped with the Rocky Helmets, and maybe trying to go for like a Flygon endgame or something. I mean, we'll see, but I'm curious what DrVr's endgame plan is, because he's clearly going for something.
Yes, they do have. I mean, if you look at the team, it's mostly strong physical attackers. 2 of his special attackers are more like walls, like the Gastrodon and the Weezing. Jolteon's really his only strong special attacker, so he's got to try to save that for the end game, I would say.
So we do see a parting shot now come up, pivoting out of the Berserker and weakening it as well in the process. So this thing actually definitely, a bit easier to switch into. We're going to see the Tauros come back out as another Intimidate comes off, lowering that thing's attack by 2 stages in a single turn. And that means that knockoff is going to do absolutely nothing. Again, especially because the Rocky Helmet was also removed earlier. So we'll see if this Tauros is actually able to do a little bit of extra work before going down.
The cool thing is at least the Berserker is lefty, so it is slowly getting a little bit of health back. At this point, though, we'll see. I mean, because like you said, the Berserker is not going to be doing that much damage, and they can just keep switching out in between and force them to take more chip.
Absolutely. We are going to see a risky switch into the Gastro now. Obviously, B-Nard, I think, acknowledges that he does not want to keep the Galarian Weezing in potentially, as it's actually very, very crucial for that Flygon. But unfortunately, that will result in the Tauros maybe predicting the Berserker to come out, and instead it comes in on, instead Gastrodon comes in on 8 and eats a 4 times super effective Trailblaze. So that is a risk that did not pay off whatsoever.
Yeah, I really would have gone into the Weezing. I'm not sure. Maybe if he was predicting, I'm maybe check the audio, but if he was predicting the Vikavolt to come back out again or something, but Weezing just seemed a bit safer there, unless they were assuming like a Zen Headbutt or something. But we know it's not sheer force, so it wouldn't have done as much.
No, indeed. I really think B-Nard was just trying to preserve it and keep it as healthy as Flygon. Because as I said before, it is definitely possible that DrVr is going for some kind of Dragon Dance Flygon endgame, or maybe he's got some other spicy set. But now we actually have the Galarian Weezing in against this Cramorant here, and Cramorant does go for a big serve. That actually does a lot of damage. I did not think Cramorant could do that much damage, and now its ability does even more chip.
Well, so much for preserving it for Flygon.
Exactly. Low-key, I don't know about you, Gold Missile, broken ability. Like, actually.
That was crazy. I mean, I forgot that it lowers the defense as well. I knew that it would do chip damage, obviously, but all that together, that's insane.
Indeed, definitely DrVr catching it, in the correct position there and actually getting the sort of offensive Cramorant to put in some work here against B-Nard's walls, as now we're effectively just going to be forced to sack the Berserker off against this Cramorant before we can get another free switch in. And I believe this is also DrVr's Terra Captain.
Within a few turns here, I mean, we've already severely weakened a lot of B-Nard's walls. So this is going to be very difficult for B-Nard to try to come back here.
Indeed, and we do actually see another neutral Terra Blast be able to take it out. He doesn't want to risk the Hurricane if he does have it. But interestingly enough, that's still... He hasn't Terastallized yet, so the Terra type on this thing is still a bit of a mystery, which could potentially, like it severely makes the Gastron not want to switch in, because one of these things, Terra types, is Grass, so you really don't want to switch it and catch that. So B-Nard now is just going to be going with the offensive response, which is just Choice Scarf Hawlucha here.
And you don't want to necessarily go Jolteon either and then get caught with the Terra. Goes
Absolutely.
for
We're
the
going to see an
U-turn.
Intimidate come off as B-Nard U-turns out. Obviously, nice little play there. Keeping the Hawlucha healthy, acknowledging that there was definitely a switch coming. And unfortunately, because of the Intimidate, it was not enough to take it out. But now he finds the opportunity to go into Jolteon. And this thing should force a KO at this point, for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah, unfortunately, no Volt Switch on here. Might have been pretty useful for pivoting earlier, but I think that he's kind of, like we said, it's got the Calm Mind on there. That could potentially be his way of getting out of this game.
So the Calm Mind Flame of Jolteon is very, very scary, because there is literally no way you're ever outspeeding this thing when it has double speed. And the burn chip, honestly, not really that significant unless you have priority coming your way. But yeah, Jolteon is so ridiculously fast, it should kill you before, you get a chance to hit it back in return anyway. So gonna find the alluring voice on the Tauros now, and that actually does score the KO. So we'll see how DrVr responds. It's gonna be by sending out the Flygon. So the threat is in, and as we said before, the Galarian Weezing is weakened. So let's see what it does.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Does this thing get Iron Head or just have to rely on Terra Steel Terrible? I feel like it's gotta have some coverage, right? For Weezing.
You know what? I'm gonna check that. I'm gonna check that right now. Give me a second. I'm curious.
Actually, it's a special set just for the Weezing. And well, it went for Earth Power. It doesn't affect it, but I would have to assume it's got to have something to hit it on this following turn.
Yep, that's a great tech there from DrVR side. I just checked. The Flygon does not have any steel coverage whatsoever. So
Wow.
the special set, maybe with Boom Burst, it's like its only real way to hitting it, I presume.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that B-Nard really has any switches to Boom Burst, so be exciting to see it here. I wonder if it's like Throat Spray. Psychic Noise,
Ooh,
actually.
we
Look at
do
all the...
have
It has
Psychic
all
Noise.
this special coverage, not so much physical.
Yep, and an 80 special attacks had to go with it. You'll love to see it. But yeah, Psychic Noise, another move that I did not realize it got. And that is actually perfect coverage for the Galarian Weezing. Even Levitate ain't going to shoot you from that. And you also deny any potential Black Sludge recovery. So that's a great prep there. And just to see this Flygon's item choice, though, because, I mean, if we're running Psychic Noise, we could have even run Throat Spray, potentially, and go for a special attack boost.
Yeah.
That would have actually given you the KO on this Hawlucha.
Absolutely. I'm going to go for the U-turn, assuming that, of course, the Flygon is going to switch out into, I would say, probably a Pecharunt.
Yeah, Pecharunt, low-key, actually one of the best counters in this format, like on the draft board that we have to Hawlucha. I mean, if Hawlucha does have Throat Chop, obviously, and Brave Bird is still neutral, but those colossal defenses make it really difficult to punch through. And B-Nard also does not have Throat Chop this week, so... DrVr, though, not threatened out by the Hawlucha, knowing that, thinking like, you know what, I'm going to take any one hit from you. I'm just going to go for a Psychic Noise and potentially take you out. So great play from B-Nard there, going for the U-turn and not wanting to, go down after a Close Combat or a Brave Bird. But now we're actually going to see the Incineroar switching again on a Scale Shot. So this is a very interesting set.
This is very cool. I love DrVR sets, man. I mean... I'm not sure if they've won Heat of the Week yet, but I think they need to. Our Pokemon of the Week, but this is crazy.
They must have done at least at one point, if not last, like maybe suddenly last season, because there were a lot of really cool decks they had last season as well. But now we're going to see the Incineroar switch in, and I'm not really sure if this thing is healthy enough to take a hit. I mean, we're going to also see a Fake Out, which is going to do more damage thanks to those defenses being lowered. But now this Flygon is pretty much afraid to just click Earth Power and potentially grab another KO.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if it can take it or not. I mean, it might be able to with its AV. I think it was AV, right?
Yeah, it is a Assault Vest Incineroar, you are correct.
It's going to be close, though. I feel like it should live. It depends on how much investment B-Nard's put into this thing.
So they're going to say, he's going to U-turn come out. So that is actually the full set revealed. And DrVr are kind of scared not to grab the kill. I mean, it might not be max special attack investment if he's running Scale Shot, but yeah, not wanting to take that risk and instead just pivoting out of the Incineroar, which is now, again, still below half. So it definitely can be easy pickings potentially for later, especially if you can get some hazards up at some point.
Yeah, we haven't really seen any hazards being put at all this game, and I guess that kind of explains why they feel so free to just keep on switching around. Would have been nice to have some rocks at some point.
Absolutely. As we're going to see the Grimmsnarl now come out. Now, another crit on the
Crit.
U-turn. I
Wow.
don't know what it is. Like, for some reason, historically, I feel like B-Nard is already quite a bit of a U-turn spamming player, respectfully, with his Sneasler. And now he's just, like, U-turning all over the place against DrVr and getting crits. So, low-key, that's actually, like, not reliable, but a legit way to make progress.
Hey, you know what? It's something. But now the defog wheezing is gone, so they've got no way to try to remove these screens once they're up. Um, Honestly though, like I like this thinking here. If you're gonna set up some screens, then I'm gonna try to set up some hazards for all this switching around.
Exactly. Although the problem is, again, though, I feel like we have basically never really seen a full-on support screens Grimmsnarl from DrVr. He loves to go on the offense
Oh,
with
good
this thing,
point.
but again, it's good attack stat. So we'll see if it is able to take on this Gastrodon. I don't think it has grass coverage, but I mean, we'll see what it goes for as
Trying to
B-Nard is
remember.
considering his options. Yeah, when he uses
I mean, a
options to
lot of
the attack
things
this
get
thing.
grass knot, but I don't know. It might be too much. Oh, the nasty plot though.
The,
That's
the
tough.
nasty plot, indeed, as Grimmsnarl actually has multiple ways to set up, indeed, so we'll see if it is able to grab the kill. And Gastrodon does have naturally good special defense, so we'll see if this +2 Grimmsnarl can actually KO it here, as it will pretty much be forced to do so, because another Earth Power will take it out.
Yeah, they severely chipped it. Could be worth it. I mean, because now this thing is in range of any one hit. I would love to see if they could just try to get up maybe some rocks, but yeah, maybe preserve it later, get up some rocks later. It's in range of a fake out, so it might not be a bad idea.
Absolutely great switch from B-Nard here for sure, but probably potentially able to take another hit. As we do see a
Oh,
Draining Kiss, like the
well, not
one move
anymore,
that could have
JK, especially with the lefties
exactly.
after.
The one move that could have potentially gone it out of fake out range. Great prep from DrVr. I love this Grimmsnarl set so much. This could actually make some serious moves here, as it is able to, take a fake out. It will get flinched, but it's gonna get leftovers recovery back once more. And
It might have
now,
even lived that fake out to begin with. It did not do that much, especially with those leftovers, man.
honestly, you might be right, because we are gonna see the Grimmsnarl now outspeed the Incineroar and take it out with a Draining Kiss. I wonder if I don't think it's out of range of an Alluring Voice though, is it?
Um, I feel like Alluring Voice should definitely kill um, from that range, honestly. I mean, super effective. It doesn't have the best I don't know. It's going to be close. I feel like it should die, though. I'm just thinking Jolteon is not the strongest special attacker, and it's not stab, but I want to say it should be good.
It is super effective though, so
Yeah.
let's see. We're going to see the Jolteon indeed come out now. And I don't think Grimmsnarl gets any special priority, so we'll see if it is able to use its investment to lift this Alluring Voice. Again, not Choice Spec boosted this week, as we opted for a Flame Orb. So we'll see if that is actually able to knock out this Grimmsnarl. We do go for the Alluring Voice, and it is enough to take out the Grimmsnarl. So definitely able to check that threat before it gets out of hand. Because if that thing lived, that could have been serious trouble.
That would have been tough. Just Draining Kiss it all back.
Yep.
So now DrVr has to figure out what he's going to send in. It's going to be the Vikavolt. Now the Incineroar is gone. A lot of his walls have been weakened, so I mean, there's not really anything that wants to try to take this thing on.
So the opposite has a really strong special attack. Unironically, Vikavolt actually really tough for B-Nard to switch in at this point though, because the Jolteon really can't touch it at all. Obviously, it's resistant to Thunderbolt, and Bug Buzz should just take it out. And Gastrodon is obviously, extra weak to Energy Ball, and the Hawlucha is weak to its Electric Stab. So I think it's gonna have to make some serious reads and figure out how to pivot around this thing.
Yep, goes for the Bug Buzz, so is able to get that. But now you have to figure out, well, are they going to stay in, or are they going to make the obvious Pecharunt play?
Absolutely. I think this is a very tough position to be in, because anytime you make the wrong move against this Vikavolt, it will claim a KO. Obviously, Bug Buzz KOs Jolteon, an Electric move KOs Hawlucha, and the Grass move KOs Gastrodon. So anytime this thing clicks the right move, something dies. We're now going to see Flygon stack, though. Obviously, DrVr not wanting to take a Brave Bird or a Fire Punch there, and opts to stack the Flygon off instead. So that will knock him down another Pokemon. But now, because he killed with that U-turn, B-Nard has to show first and send out a Pokemon for DrVr to respond to. So again, I still think this puts you in a tough position.
Yeah, I mean, you're slightly better because now you've removed one of the sacks, but now we just have to repeat the process all over again.
Absolutely, and it's a bit like, do we go into Jolteon, do we go into our fastest threat, potentially, being able to outspeed anything, or do we go into the Gastrodon, our bulky wall, to try and maybe trade some hits in our favor here. So it's a very, very tough one, as I believe we are going to see the Vikavolt come out now once again. And yeah, again, just if this thing collects the right move, something dies. So it's a very, very tough spot to like sort of pivot around it and get it in a position where DrVr is forced to take damage on it.
Yeah, and even the Halucha, there's no way that Brave Bird is going to kill that thing. So either way, nothing can OHKO this Vikavolt, and I'm pretty sure the Vikavolt can OHKO almost any of B-Nard's Pokemon.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure it will just KO all of them. I mean, an electric move is not gonna...
Is Bug Buzz gonna... I mean, Jolteon's pretty weak. Bug Buzz probably kills Jolteon.
Bug Buzz kills
right?
Jolteon, I'm
I mean,
sure.
it's like 140 something special attack, right? 145.
That's what I mean. Yeah, no, it's 145. It's the same as Thunder's Theory.
Yeah,
so
like Chandelure, yeah.
See, we unfortunately obviously cannot hit this thing with a nerf power either, so B-Nard's gonna cut his losses, go for an Ice Beam, and unfortunately gets the read wrong there. Yeah, like I said, that's just like such a difficult one. I mean, if you catch it clicking Bug Buzz or an electric move, at least you can maybe fish for an Ice Beam free. So I really don't disagree with that play, but now, yeah, you just lost your Gastrodon, and you're gonna have to like U-turn until this thing is in range of Fire Punch, and even then, I'm not sure if you can, you know, take it out before it's done enough damage to the point where you just can't win against it anymore.
Yeah, that was a really tough spot to be in. I probably would have tried to make the same read, but did not work out there. And so now I think we're just kind of in a position where, you know, I think B-Nard's going to try to wiggle his way out of this, but, you know, I just feel like DrVr is holding all the cards.
Absolutely. We're going to see a U-turn come out here as he just unfortunately switches out, and now we're going to see the Cramorant come off. U-turn's going to come out, and unfortunately now this puts you against a potentially Terra Grass Cramorant, so you've honestly... well, actually, Gastron's gone, but, you know, it will be able to take on this Jolteon with the potential Terra type it has, because, again, I don't remember what its third Terra type is, but two of its Terra types are Grass and Ground, which both resist Electric. So, yeah, definitely kind of dug yourself a hole here at this point, I think, if you could B-Nard.
Yep, you can try to go for, I mean, honestly, maybe a Shadow Ball, and just in case they try to go Petrun for some reason or something. Best neutral move in all of them, but they're actually look like they're going to try to swap back into Rey Mysterio.
Yep. Well, I feel like at this point, if you're going to have to make some
Terra
plays,
Ground,
right? So
Terra Blast, probably.
Exactly. We're assuming a Terra Blast of either Terra Grass or Ground, so I do actually completely agree with this play. We're going to see Terra Grass pop off, so it is definitely, you know, it was prepared for the Gastrodon. We're going to see a Roost come out, though, so we'll go back to full health. Definitely still in range of Brave Bird, though, so yep, B-Nard immediately locking that in. Immediately locking it in, trying to get grab for that one-hit KO. So we'll see if DrVr is actually able to respond to this. But there is still a Patron in the back, so, you know, that does make it tough.
Yep. Great positioning by B-Nard here, trying to just still keep himself in the game, but the Petrun just comes in. There's no hazard for this thing to take any chip, and the Rocky Helmet, they can just recover it off. This Petrun is not going anywhere quick.
Nope, not at all. As it's, you know, it is free now. It's basically just spam its stabs or just go for a parting shot for some momentum, try and close this game out. But yeah, again, the Vikavolt especially looked so strong in this matchup, man. And I find it just really just interesting to see from a perspective who used, you know, as someone who used Vikavolt last season in the Ubers League, I never really had room for offensive Vikavolt because it just didn't match up against the Ubers, right? You use it for Sticky Web. But now, this season, DrVr really able to use its tools better against the lower power level. So really loving the offensive Vikavolt representation there.
Yep. Gonna get the try to calm mind, just try to do something. Thankfully, there are burns, so they at least can't get poisoned. But there's no way for this thing to heal up, so they're gonna continue to take chip over time.
Absolutely. B-Nard has definitely, you know, acknowledged that Jolteon is the fastest threat on the field right now, and there's probably no priority left at this point either. So if he can get a couple minds, get a couple calm minds up, that's a bit of a tongue twister, then he can potentially actually fight his way out of this game with Jolteon as long as he, you know, gets enough boost. So Vikavolt will switch back in as another calm mind is going to come off. Can this Jolteon muscle its way through this Vikavolt without going down itself?
We'll see. They've taken a lot of chip. We'll see how much a Bug Buzz can do, but even then with all the burn damage and everything, it's going to be doing a lot.
We do see the Shadow Ball come off. Not even a 2 KO, actually, as it does fire off a powerful Bug Buzz, but neither of them actually KO'd there, and it both puts B-Nard in range of a of another round of Burn Chip, but the special defense drop from Shadow Ball puts this thing in range of Shadow Ball. So Jolteon will fire off another Shadow Ball, and it is actually enough, despite initially not grabbing the 2 KO, to take out the devastating Vikavolt as Jolteon trades itself. That's honestly the best it could have realistically done.
Yep. Yeah, that Jolteon definitely, that was a calling out to its trainer, just trying to do its absolute best there for what it could.
Absolutely, the little Jolteon that could, or almost could in this situation, but unfortunately now we have a Rocky Helmet Petrant, you know, who says, "You are trapped in here with me, my friend," and he chains the Holucha up with Malignant Chain one final time, and that is able to take down the Holucha. Very, very solid game though. GG's to both sides. It was a long, well-fought match, and what was that, a 1-0? No,
that was a 2-0. They still had the Vikavolt in the back. Oh, wait, no, I'm sorry, the Cramorant.
Cramorant, yes, that's the one. But still, yeah, that was a beautiful game, honestly. Great positioning, great pivoting from both sides, good reads as well. Yeah, overall solid entertainment.
Yep, GG's. All right, big showdown here. Brandon versus Lazyboi. Brandon trying to fight back for his season. Lazyboi, I mean, they're chilling. I mean, honestly, but they're fighting for that playoff spot because you want to be in a good spot where you can pick your opponents for playoffs. What do we think, Scorp?
Absolutely here. You know, we're going to be fighting for a, you know, playoffs contention here in general. Lazyboi, like you said, is definitely chilling, but a higher seed still being able to choose their opponents from lower seeds is going to be very, very important here. We actually see a Scarf Raptor from Brandon's side, which I'm looking forward to seeing how it puts this work, and a Life Orb Raichu as well. So Lazyboi got most of his 8th game as well. I don't think I saw a Gallade, but maybe, you know, Team Preview definitely did go by a bit quick.
No, there's no Gallade.
Okay, yeah, but definitely still brought his A game here, so I'm going to be very interested
to see. The Crooked Volcanion alone is powerful.
Absolutely. Excited to see how this matchup plays out between two good friends here, you know?
Yep. I mean, in addition, just the bulk between the Houndstone and the Florges, man. I mean, Lazyboi's team, I absolutely love their team.
Absolutely, really, really great team there. This is an interesting dynamic right here, because we got the potential fear of a Choice Scarf Crocodile here. We've got the potential fear of an Assault Vest Crocodile that can one-shot this thing with an Earthquake. But we also have the potential of Life Orb or Choice Specs Jolteon just being able to one-shot it. And neither happens. It does actually take the Life Orb Alluring Voice, but doesn't opt to go for an Earthquake instead. It goes for a Stealth Rock, potentially hoping that Brandon would switch out. But no, Brandon was able to, or willing rather, to let Raichu potentially go down to risk some damage on the Crocodile there.
Yeah, I mean, it is their #1 overall pick. Being able to get huge damage on that might be worth it for this Raichu, as the Florges is able to come in and just eat that up.
Yep, we do see the Volt Tackle.
I mean, I have to imagine Volt Tackle would have been a bunch of damage.
Absolutely, that would have been a lot of damage. Obviously, that's definitely for this Florges, which is obviously a lot more specially bulky than physically bulky. But I don't think it's in range quite yet. So instead, we're going to see Brandon make the safe switch into something else here. As the Choice Scarf, the Florges actually reveals to be Choice Scarf and tricks it. Yep, so it's going to be very interesting to see how it manages that Life Orb from now on. And then this Scarf Raichu, I wonder how it's going to be able to make use of that going forward.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that Lazyboi has the fastest team, honestly. I mean, Raichu probably should have been able to outspeed everything naturally. So, a bit of a hindrance, but, you know, they still have, I mean, Voltac will just spam it, you know, at a certain point once the Crook goes down.
Absolutely. Although it is funny to me, actually, though, because I think the Florges might have actually been able to take out the Raichu with just a Scarf Moonblast. I mean, obviously, there were switching, so you probably don't want to risk that. And, you know, if you go for Trick, you can also catch this same Skeledirge coming in and trick that thing as Scarf. So I definitely do understand Lazyboi's play, but Raichu is very frail, so that Moonblast could potentially just KO it there. And not many people expect Scarf Florges, so it might have been worth going for that gamble. But, yeah, meanwhile, we're going to see Skeledirge and Florges sort of muscle through each other here. Psychic Noise does actually do a lot of damage to the,
it has that Life Orb boosting it, so some of the strongest Florges in his, because very rarely would you ever run Life Orb on it.
Yeah, absolutely, yep. But yeah, Skeletor's able to come out on top of that one.
Yep, Inverse is the Crook, so gonna force a switch out here. I'm gonna be honest though, I don't know. Well, the Raichu has done its work apparently. Knockoff kills.
I told you, man, that thing is incredibly frail. No Moxie, though, in this Crocodile.
Yep. We'll see, though. I mean, here's the thing, though. Komala, I'm going to be honest, does not have the best physical defense. So, I mean, it's risking an awful lot of chip on this thing to take this thing out.
Absolutely. We do still have a Houndstone on Lazyboi's side, though, so he's able to spin block this thing very, very easily, potentially. So, yeah, Brandon instead making the safe play of potentially going for a U-turn here. We'll see if the Houndstone does indeed come out. As it does, yep, so we're going to be able to... Let's see, is it Rocky Helmet?
Another
hit. It is Rocky Helmet, indeed.
It is Rocky Helmet.
Yeah. What's with U-turn critting this week?
I don't know. It's crazy. I mean, if you had to pick a move to crit, though, I would rather it be that.
Now, would you rather it not be just your choice spec stab attack rather than a weak move that
Well,
lets you
you
crit
know
out?
me, Scorp. I don't want to have to win through hacks, so I would prefer that it's a clean game and the only moves that crit are not very effective U-turns.
Where's the embrace of Heal Emerald, brother?
Oh,
What is
no, no, no.
this?
Only in certain situations.
You know, the birth of Heal Emerald was on this very stage, you know?
Oh,
the
yes,
gouging
of course.
fire.
Well, one could argue even earlier up against B-Nard with the freeze on the Articuno was on the same stage as well. Yeah, a big flamethrower burn, though, on this Houndstone. I mean, pretty big. I mean, for like, if this thing is rocking body press. I mean, we saw what happened before to H.I.M's Magnezone, and only 10%, so it is strange to think that Brandon over here, who infamously usually gets haxed himself, now the tables have turned where he's getting a little bit of hacks himself.
Yep, definitely could work in his favor here. Although he was running Toxic on the Gudra though, so there's definitely a potential like
Oh yeah, you would have rather had the Toxic, yeah.
Exactly, if you rather wanted the poison. But now we're gonna actually see the Skeletor come in. Oh,
almost,
nearly
almost
quitting
quit.
there.
We've all been there at one point or another, just going so fast.
See, it's really funny though, because to me it looks like, oh, he got a double right. Well, GG, game over. Luckily, that wasn't quite the mindset though. As Gudra is actually able to switch him, but it gets burned by the Steam Eruption. What is this game? What's going on here?
Yeah, I mean, at least Steam Eruption. Is it 30% like Scald? I think it is, or is it 10% as well?
I think it might be 30%. Yeah, you're right. It does have a very high chance to burn. So we do see a big Thunderbolt come out. This is Gudra. It's actually a really powerful weapon against the Volcano because you do resist its dual stab. As you can see, that Slash Bomb did nothing.
Yeah, but you know, look at this Gudra. It's so weak. I mean, if they save the Volcanion for later and his Gudra goes down, I mean, the Volcanion looks really good into the rest of their team.
Yeah.
We'll see though. I mean, getting massive chip on this Volcanion at this point is big for Brandon.
Definitely. I think Lazyboi might have pulled the trigger a little bit early on this Volcanion, unless he was perhaps planning to weaken this Gudra for something else later on down the line. But now we're going to have to actually switch into another attack here. Let's see, did Brandon catch the Crocodile coming in, and instead of going for a Thunderbolt, yes he did. Draco Meteor will be dropped, and down goes the Crocodile. Excellent play from Brandon there, not wanting the Crocodile to going for free on a Thunderbolt.
Great play there. The Crook is finally down. Of course, there's no Raichu to take advantage of the situation. Oh, I forgot they have a Talonflame, so Raichu could have used that Scarf versus this thing.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, unless it was Gale Wings, but I doubt Gale Wings Talonflame is a thing in
it wouldn't last too long.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Interesting that it will let the just Gudra go down here, I guess. I mean, could have tried to get... I guess it was already so low, you may as well sack it. Force takes some recoil, so if it does have Gale Wings, it's broken now.
Yep. See, the Skeletor to potentially switch back in. You know, Skeletor, if it is very bulky, and it does have slack off, so unless this Talonflame is like Bandit or something, I feel like, you know, we've said it before, we'll say it again, Talonflame has a lower attack stat, I can't speak, attack stat than a Mungus, so, you know, this thing could potentially live a Brave Bird from the Talonflame and just go for free slack off.
Sure. I miss the days of Choice Band Brave Bird when Gale Wings actually was good.
Oh, I don't. I do not miss Smog on Brave Bird Edition.
Hey, listen, those are some good times. Listen, just run. Why do you think I love Rock so much? For those pesky Talonflames.
Oh, yeah, the pesky Talonflames, Arrow with no boots, you know?
Absolutely. All right, like the Dirge is looking healthy though, but it's not looking good up against this Volcanion. They do have the Kamala, which could potentially try to take a hit, but it might be tough. I don't know. Volcanion's very strong. I might get 2 KO'd still.
We're going to see it right here as it does switch in. Comatose comes into effect, and we do go for the Steam Eruption.
Oh,
yeah, that is not fit to take this Volcanion on, I'm afraid.
Maybe if it was AV, max HP, max def, but no. But they're going to go out into the Houndstone once again, not want to get a second crit. That's crazy. I mean, the crits aren't doing too much, but it is crazy. This Houndstone just appears to be a magnet for hacks.
And still alive and kicking. That's I mean, I guess it's a ghost, so it's technically dead, but still around and kicking. Let's just put it that way. Gonna be able to go for another Rock Tomb, and Lazyboi unfortunately over predicting there with the Nightshade.
Might be a little bit of tilt there.
Yep. As unfortunately the Kamala is low-key just wearing its own counter down right here.
Let's see. Get the Rock Helmet shift to dive. I mean, that's pretty good because then you can switch out. And yep, did have body press. Indeed. So now we can get in your other guy. And yeah, Terra Water for the Volcanion. Not too bad.
Absolutely. And we do also have the Contra set on deck once again. Interestingly enough, we actually have both Leaf Storm and Superpower. So we'll see which one Brandon opts to go first.
Double boost.
Absolutely, just making yourself offensive on both sides of the spectrum there. As Leaf Storm is going to be able to take out the Houndstone, and down it goes. Brandon acting like a budget superior here with this Lurantis getting that +2 special attack boost. Also, I'm interested to see what Lazyboi's answer to this here. Although he does have a fully healthy Alolan Executor in the back potentially.
Oh, true enough. And actually decides to send in the Talonflame, so I would presume, yep, there's the Terra now. Yeah, anticipating a superpower, potentially get some more boost.
That is risky though, because obviously if you do attack the Talonflame, you could potentially get flame bodied. We'll see if Lazyboi wants to scout for this Terra. I'm willing to bet Lazyboi wants to like just see what Brandon's Terra type is, and maybe U-turn out on it.
Yeah, that's why I think he's so confident in going for the superpower.
Exactly, and there we go. Brandon's going to go for that superpower, maybe anticipating said U-turn, as it will obviously be neutral against the Alolan Executor as well. Yep, there's the U-turn indeed, as we expected. So Brandon will get an attack and defense boost now as well.
Yep, the Houndstone's gone, so there's no switch into the superpower. They will be getting a boost, and unlike Leaf Storm, it can't miss.
Yep. Although Alolan Executor definitely built quite bulky, obviously Lazyboi definitely anticipated this thing, and unfortunately because we're Terra Water, we are also now weak to grass, so we're definitely gonna have to. Exactly, we've got to get out of here right now.
I'll be honest though, I mean, nothing is really stopping this thing from dropping a Draco right now.
No, not at all. I mean, Staraptor's not going to take it whatsoever, so we'll see if Brandon wants to go into the Skeletor to take it out. But the problem is, if it is Draco Meteor, then we will. Okay, we're actually going to see the Trick Room set up instead. Very interesting Executor strat here. But if it is Draco Meteor, it's going to be able to spam that free of charge against the Skeletors, because Unaware will ignore the drops.
Yep, goes to go for the Terra. I mean, this thing is powerful in the Trick Room combined with Terra now. Terra Blast Fire. This is looking scary. Oof.
As we do indeed see the
Unaware though, if we can get through it.
Yep. And Skeletor's Torch Song of Boost will affect the Executor here, because it does not ignore, its own boosts on the Executor. So Earth Power definitely will KO, I'm willing to bet from this point.
Yeah, so this is huge for Lurantis potentially later, if they can get rid of this thing. I mean, who do they have left? We have Talonflame and Volcanion.
I just feel like this is not quite the Executor set for the job here, but Lazyboi is going to get the chance to fire off one attack. Oh, nope, instead actually it opts to keep it around, as we do switch it to Talonflame on Earth Power. But the problem is, again, even though we have not taken out the Executor, we're still threatened by the Lurantis, because now we're a fire type, so we're weak to water.
Goes for the Torch Song, big damage, going through the floor a bit there as the Brave Bird comes off.
I was just about to acknowledge that, yep.
I mean, this isn't too bad for Brandon here. They're like +2 now. The Trick Room's over. Ooh, he's trying to catch something on the U-turn switch. Doesn't fork off though.
But you know what? You were kind of saying it, and I think you might even be like underestimating. I think this Skeletor is absolutely just chilling. Like, it is sitting here like, what is threatening me at this point? We're eating Brave Birds for days.
It's taking the Talonflame's killing itself.
Exactly, this thing is killing itself. You don't even have to do it for you. It's forced to click Brave Bird. Just slack off a couple times. I think this Skeletor is gonna win.
It's gonna win this, but then young Volcanion can come in. Brandon, just let this thing kill itself.
Honestly,
maybe he thinks that he's gonna try to preserve the Talonflame though.
Oh, and there's the Roost Reads on the Earth Power. Yep, that's probably what he's anticipating as well. And there we go. Down goes the Talonflame as it roosts to get rid of his flying typing, and down it goes. So now the Volcano will switch in. But yep, excellent play from Brandon there.
Wait, no, Brandon, don't send in the Staraptor. No.
Why are we going?
Don't lose the win, God. It takes rocks. No.
I don't even think those rocks matter, brother. I think that Steam Rush was a clean cold kill anyway. Why did we go Staraptor? Was that a misclick?
No, I think he put all his chips on Levani. I mean, not Levani, on Lurantis.
Yeah. Oh, brother, this could come back to haunt him. I mean, it depends a little bit on who is able to muster.
Oh,
Oh
the
no, we do have
power herb
the
solar
power herb.
beam!
Oh my god, I was just about to say that. We have power herb solar beam, and down goes the Lurantis. Yep, that is a huge mistake from Brandon there, underestimating the Volcanion. I think Brandon really just thought that the Lurantis was safe against the Volcanion. And you know, it will just clean up the game from there. Obviously, finishing off the Alone Executor with Terra Blast Water, but nope. Unfortunately, Volcanion grabs the clean, cold one-hit KO on Scarlet as well, and that is game. So Lazyboi's Volcanion having a bit of an anime protagonist moment and finishing off that match.
That was crazy. Very unfortunate for Brandon, but at least, you know, it's somewhat close, so Brandon still, his playoffs chances are at least still alive.
Yep, GG's from both sides. That was a really, really fun game as well.
GG's. All right, people. This is a big boy game right here. Al versus Kingbura, trying to fight for that top 4 position. We got Power Herb, Diancie on deck. We got a bunch of berries. What do we think, Scorp?
Absolutely loving the Power Hub Diancie. That's actually my favorite Diancie set by far. You know, Power Hub Meteor being very good, very, very powerful, very, very strong. And we see a bunch of interesting bonds from Kingbura set. We see both the Cacturn and the Electivire no Hippowdon this time, and also the Drifblim. So I'm excited to see this battle. These are 2 of my absolute favorites to win this season together, like in general. So yeah, I think I said it in last week's recap. Very much looking forward to this game.
Yep, we got Cobalion versus Hitmonchan right off the bat. So this is going to be interesting. Apparently communicating. I don't know, somebody's internet, something's going on. The servers.
I mean, these 2 are definitely like cross-continent, right? So there's definitely about to be a bit of lag eventually. We're going to see 2 fighting types face off against each other, but obviously one of them is weak to the other stab. So let's see if Kingbura opts to go for a Volt Switch and get out immediately, or if he actually has a plan against this Hitmonchan.
Yep. The slow taunt on there is not going to stop this thing from getting up rocks, potentially. We'll see what he wants to do. He decides to withdraw the Cristiano and send in, the powerful Primarina.
As we catch it with a Thunder Punch, though, Iron Fist boosted, I think, or definitely Punching Glove boosted at least. It is going to be Citrus Berry, so we're not going to see, we're not going to be taking as much damage, but definitely great read from Abomination right off the cuff here. I mean, honestly, I think he was trying to read the Drifblim switch, not the Primarina.
Hey, that works too, though. But now you've got to worry about potentially the Electivire, or I don't think, I guess he didn't bring Hippowdon.
Yep. We're now going to see a Drain Punch, though, potentially catching Kingbura switching out again. Unfortunately, not going to get the read correct, though. That's a shame, as a Moonblast is going to cleanly take out the Hitmonchan. I think that was actually a really well-calculated risk, though, from Kingbura. He knew that the Hitmonchan was faster, and he knew that he could, you know, he had potential switches for a Thunder Punch, so he stayed in instead, trying to make Abomination overpredict, and he did. So that actually lands the KO on the Hitmonchan right off the cuff. So yeah, this is already off to like a great start. Like high-level plays are being made already.
Yes, and just to add a little bit of context to this game, myself and Al were having a heated but friendly discussion over which game was better, Scarlet and Violet or Legends Arceus. And apparently I cost the man roughly 2 hours of his time that he could have devoted to prepping for this game.
Oh dear.
Just to add that in. But hey, the Persian, Life Orb Persian is taking out this Primarina.
Yeah, I really like these, sort of playing like a budget Ambipom here in this game. Gonna go for the double edge and does actually take out the Primarina, not really having any switch-ins, and this thing is Al's Terra Captain as well, so I think this is actually a pretty difficult Pokemon to switch into for Kingbura without the Hippowdon there. Obviously, we do have the Cobalion, and there we go, it does come back in. But let's see if this Terra type is actually able to help this Persian win the 1v1 against. As we see, it is Terra Ground, so let's see if he opts to go for it.
Yep, it does indeed want to go for it now. I mean, getting chip on this thing could be crucial.
Yep, we do see the Terra pop off here. Gonna go into the Terra ground now, so no longer weak to fighting, but Persian obviously is quite frail, so we're gonna see, does this Life Orb Terra Blast ground KO? No, it doesn't. It doesn't even do a half. No, not even to a KO.
Goodbye, Persian.
Goodbye, Persian, you tried your best.
Hey, listen, that's big chip for something else. This thing should be in range of, well, honestly, now that I'm looking at Al's other mods, you know, there's no Blastoise. The team honestly does not feel as overwhelming as I had in my head.
Yeah, but we do have severe troubles against this Cobalion now. That we don't really have any significant way to hurt. And obviously, the Dionysus 4 times weak to steel. So even if you have an Earth Power on deck or something for it, yeah, not going to be ending too well. So we're going to see the Keyberry, I think it's Keyberry, Yuxi come out now.
Yeah.
As see if it's actually able to take on this Cobalion if Kingbura opts to switch it out.
And Psyshock is not going to. I mean, Cobalion's defenses are super high, which is why I'm presuming that Earth Power, or not Earth Power, Terra Blast grounded so little because it was coming off of a physical version. Yeah, Cobalion doesn't care about this thing, bro. He's just gonna set some rocks. I would have done the same.
Yep, set up some rocks, gonna help against Al's relatively bulky team. You know what I've loved about this game, by the way, like in terms of just raw dynamic? We have Cobalion, as the capture card glitches out again. We have the Cobalion versus the Duraludon, or like Archelodon, right?
Yeah.
Both of those, like infamous steel types that often don't get drafted because they don't resist Fairy, but we actually see both of them in this game right here and now. So I thought that was a pretty interesting sort of thing about this low tier league in general, that we see these mons get drafted and put in work. Because this Cobalion is putting in work for Kingbura right now, like work with a capital W.
Yep. Keyberry is going to activate, well, a infamous Iron Head flinch. Very unfortunate. Wasn't able to get a move off there for Al.
Yep. We do now have a Keyberry defense boosted Calm Mind Yuxian though, so we'll see if this Cobalion reacts to it quick enough, or if Kingbura has something else to do with it, because low-key, this is a setup for that. And now that the item's gone, Cactuan's knockoff's not going to hurt it much.
Yep, absolutely. We'll see, though, if they can continue to try to make this thing work, or if they're... Oh, yep, there's the taunt for the Calm Mind. So this Cobalion is prepped for this thing.
Yep, beautiful set here. Kingbura has made like excellent move of all of his, or excellent use of all of his moves so far, and it denies the Yuxi from setting up completely. So now we are going to switch out, and we have pretty solid options to switch into this Yuxi. Yep, a Drifblim is going to come into the Draining Kiss, excuse me.
Yeah, because of how much HP Drifblim has naturally. They're going to heal it almost back up to full on this Uxie, as now Al's going to have to try to find some other way to deal with this thing.
Absolutely, kind of weighing his options here. Obviously, like it is a bit uncertain what this Drifblim set is right now. Like, is it going to be offensive with Unburden, or is it more of as a support set, maybe with Defog? Not going to go for Defog obviously right now, because I would just get rid of your own rocks. But we're going to see the Duraludon come out here, as the Duraludon appears to be too powerful and glitches the capture card once again.
I really, I scrubbed through this game and I thought that there wasn't as many of these things, but they only happened for like a split second or a couple seconds, so it didn't pop up when I was scrubbing through, I guess.
As we're now going to see rocks go up from Al's side as well. Al potentially making the same mistake that he did earlier of ignoring the setup threat in front of him.
The Calm
so we'll
Mind Drifblim could be threatening.
Exactly. Although we do have Thunder Wave on deck as well, so even if it is unburdened, we are going to be able to reset it back to normal speed at least.
That is true. But then the question is, how do you break through it?
Shadow Ball going to go off. Obviously, despite targeting the Duraludon on his weaker special defense, the Eviolite is means it's able to take it really, really well. And yep, we do see the Thunder Wave come off as well. So now, could potentially go for the Paraflinches. I mean, it's actually specially defensive Duraludon as well. So
yeah,
that thing could be very, very bulky.
Paraflinch.
Yep.
Yeah. Some might consider this to be a rather what's the word that I'm looking for here?
Strategy.
Toxic strategy. Yes. I was looking for something a little less, but let's just call it what it is. It's a toxic strategy. But sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do.
Listen, brother. This is BHDL, the highest draft league game out there. Don't quote me on that. But yeah, you gotta do what you gotta do. And this Paraflinch strategy, if we need to if we need to neutralize an unburdened Drifblim, gotta pull it out.
Yeah, I mean, listen. If it is unburdened, like you say, I'm assuming the Citrus Berry is probably about to kick in here in a second.
Yep. Although, obviously, Al not wanting to get caught too weakened with Draco Meteor drops against this Drifblim. So we'll see how both sides respond to each other here, because, Kingbura is actually going to switch. For some reason, I had a feeling he would switch out, because he's not really making any progress here, and he does not have the Unburden proc yet, so he can come in and proc that later, as we will now see the Electivire come in.
I was going to say that Iron Head did so much damage.
Yep.
I mean, it doesn't really have a whole lot to deal with this Electivire besides this, so just gonna try to stay in. I mean, we'll see if they have like cross chop or some type of coverage, maybe Earthquake for this Duraludon. Focus
We actually go for the focus miss, and unfortunately, yep, true to its name, misses. Draco Meteor is going to be fired off. Unfortunately, because we have no special attack investment, is not able to KO the Electivire just yet. But still, big miss there, and Al now actually going to opt to switch out, so he will be able to keep the Duraludon around for a little bit longer.
Yeah, I mean, knowing that they don't have EQ on this thing, I mean, Swalot looks pretty decent here. Does manage to land it, but into the wrong Pokemon.
Yep. As now the Swallow is actually in a position to fire off potential Earthquake against Kingbura's team and take out this Electivire.
Yep, Swalot just a little bit too much for the capture card. Ooh, the Sticky Hold. One of the few times I've ever seen this actually being used versus knockoff.
Interestingly enough, it actually still does get the power boost from knockoff, I believe, because it just needs to be triggered from the opponent Pokemon holding an item, not necessarily removing it. But yeah, indeed, like you said, coming in clutch and be able to keep its berry. I'm not even sure what berry it is holding, but able to still keep it, and the Electivire does go down.
Yep, and they've got Destiny Bond on deck, so Swalot could potentially trade and still be up, get 2 kills in this game.
Oh, wait a minute, was it Gustat Berry? That would make a lot of sense with Destiny Bond.
Yep, they want to hang on to that Custat Berry for dear life.
Yep. Hey, speaking of berries, where's the citrus berry on this Drifloon, brother?
I guess it's not there. I guess it doesn't have it. Or maybe it's the one that the Moringa Iapapa, one of those. But would he let it get that low?
Possibly, yeah. All right, you know what? You give me a second, actually. I'm going to go look up Kingbura's perspective and see what item this Drifloon was.
Good call, good call. I mean, this thing hasn't set up a Calm Mind yet, so it's time to officially drop a Draco on this Drifloon. As down it goes. Goodbye, Drifloon. No setup allowed here anymore. But now this Duraludon is -2. It's quite weakened, so this Duraludon's days are numbered. As Kingbura is trying to figure out what they're going to go.
Great play, and I have actually figured out that this Drifloon was actually weakness policy, so that would actually explain a lot.
Oh, so the weakness policy set. They really tried to go all in on that.
Yep, I do respect it. Definitely, you know, Duraludon does have Thunderbolt, so it could have potentially worked on that. But now we're going to see the Salazzle come out. It is not heavy duty boots, so it could maybe be specs or some kind of bulky variant. I mean, I guess we'll see. But I do actually really like Salazzle's position in this game right now because nothing outspeeds it anymore.
You know, I'm going to be honest here, Scorp. I think we both know what's about to happen here, and I don't think either of us is going to like it.
Oh, here we go. As soon as we see Substitute, we know what time it is.
We know what time it is. The Draco is still strong enough to break it, but it's -4 now.
Yep, opposite we have Corrosion as well, so the Swallow is not safe. Nothing is safe from the Toxic against the Salazzle. You could potentially just fish for either a Draco Meteor not breaking this up, or it just straight up missing. And then we're off to the races.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, you're going to want to get out of here. Interesting. Swalot is the choice. I mean, it does have that Earthquake here, so we know they can break it. And I guess they're going to try to save Uxie for later.
Yep. You know what, Emerald? I saw the Salazzle come out, was hoping it would be some kind of offensive Iron Moth-esque set. Then I looked at the video duration, I was like, oh, wait a minute.
Wait a minute. It couldn't be. No, of course not.
You gotta love when there's the Corrosion Toxic poisoning the Swallow there. You gotta love when the video length gives away the opponent's strategies.
Yep, sometimes it happens, and when it's really short and you got like a very offensive team, it's like, oh, I wonder what happened here.
Yep. You know, it's ironic that I mentioned Iron Moth earlier because Al is no stranger to fast fire poison types pulling toxic shenanigans on him. You know, longest BHDL history. Longest BHDL battle in history. Wow. Last season's quarterfinals.
Yep, who could forget? I don't think that Destiny Bond will kill the Salazzle if it dies to Toxic. That's not how. It's only direct damage. Is that how that works?
Yep, I think you are correct. I think it's actually based on like the next attack. So if the Swallow Destiny Bonds and it does not get attacked and dies from poison, then indeed it does not work. Right, we're going to see Custap Berry come off now.
We've got the One Piece interlude here. Is something going to happen here?
No, it's bad. I didn't even recognize this as One Piece at first. We're going to see the Custap Berry proc. And
how many times is it going to proc? Oh, there's to protect all that.
All that hyping up just to protect.
I think it's the first time that one of those actually meant something. Like the thing actually happened.
That is so funny. That is very comedic editing. Well done, Al. As unfortunately the flamethrower is gonna finish it.
Yep.
It's like, who expects Custap in that situation? You know.
You know, I believe that I went back and I don't think Kingbura was expecting it either. I think he just wanted more black sludge healing.
No, it's like it went for protect, you know, trying to hide itself from like a little bit of chip, and it ended up dodging a nuclear bomb.
Yeah. Although its sub is down and the Uxie is now in, so I mean, the Salazzle days are numbered, but it's really getting down to a numbers game here.
Absolutely, we're going to sacrifice the Salazzle here for another final poison on the Uxie here, which definitely could come in clutch, as that thing's days are now also numbered, but Psyshock will make quick work of the Salazzle. So let's see if Kingbura is able to finish this off now against this poisoned Uxie.
Yes, we know. Let's see, they've got the Cacturn, and what else is there? I can't remember. I mean, at the very least, Al is up in terms of numbers, but if they can force him out, yep, there's the Cacturn now. Gonna put some pressure on Uxie.
Absolutely. The other, you know, the Radodon is weakened and Diancie is weak to grass. So this thing definitely in a very, very strong position. So, and it is also Kingbura's Terra Captain, so could potentially make a comeback here.
Yeah, we'll see. Al definitely, this is a very tough call to make here. Just gonna try to go for that Draining Kiss. We'll see what Terra it ends up going for if it does. But you know, once again, like, has Cacturn really done much for Kingbura besides set up spikes and stuff like that? I mean, it's cool to see, like you said, some of these mons put in work.
I don't believe it has, as we're actually going to see the Terra Fire come off now. Obviously, no longer weak to that Draining Kiss, which is going to help here. Knockoff, though, probably not going to do as much damage because the berry is gone though. But yep, Kingbura gonna go for that Swords Dance, so we'll see if this is gonna be a Cacturn endgame. I'm wondering about the speed use though. Is this gonna be faster than Diancie?
That's a good question. What is Cacturn like 45 or 50? What isn't Diancie 50 or is it 60?
I know both those Pokemon are very slow. You know what? Fact checker Scorp once again gonna head off the video and clip fact
head
check.
off. Let's go check real quick. This Psyshock does big damage though, but Knockoff at +2 is going to just take out the Uxie there, as it also did big damage to Al's capture card.
Yep. Big
but
damage
now
to both
we're
the
in a
Pokemon and the capture
position
cards.
where because obviously this thing could be packing Sucker Punch, so I'm pretty sure that Duraludon will just die even with its Violite. So it might be up to Diancie here, but I guess they're gonna try it first because they're like, you know what? Even if it's gonna die to Cobalion, because that's what the other one is. It's Cobalion after anyways. So if you can live, if you can, they have the Thunder Wave for the Sucker Punch. That's what it does go for the Sucker Punch. Out. But they're gonna try to Thunder Wave first to give Al a slight chance. I mean, listen, they're going for their outs here, Scorp. They're going, and they have the Iron Head once again. You know, sometimes you got to do what you got to do.
Not the zoom in. Here we go.
They're like, can
drop roll freeze. Ah, breaks through the paralysis, and Sucker Punch will finish it off. Yeah, the paralysis is huge though, because it does actually allow Diancie to outspeed, because Diancie is base 50 and Cacturn is base 55. So if this thing was max speed, there was no way Diancie was outspeeding it.
That's huge. That's huge. So now it's all going to come down to this is a big game right here, because obviously they've got Ironhead or Cobalion in the back. So if they
they've got the rock polish though, so if they're able to get that off, they can potentially KO it. We're gonna have to face Emerald. We're gonna do it. We're gonna play 2 our outs. We're gonna go for that full para. We're gonna go for the rock polish. Will it work out? Nope. There's Bullet Seed.
But the Bullet Seed. There it goes.
Yep. I love the little edits there of Al hyping up the place. Yeah, Al definitely playing to his outs there. Phenomenal game though. Like I said, I'm a very big fan of these 2 coaches, and they delivered. So GG's both. And yeah, again, Al making the desperation rock polish, because if that worked out, he would have won. So.
Yep, absolutely. That's GG's to both. We've got Pokemaster versus Fournaubyl here. Very interesting sets here, as we got the lead Heracross, Alphamon switching into the Clodsire.
Yep, we're going to watch another Showdown game here. We have put it on slow speed this time, so hopefully we're going to be able to react to this a little bit better. Rabombe actually opts to go the Sticky Web up first, though, against Chris's team, which there are a bunch of, you know, Pokemon not affected by it, and also ground immunity, so I'm a little bit curious as to why. But, you know, Fournaubyl's team does benefit a lot from those, especially with the Hisui and Typhlosion. but we're trading that for Toxic Spikes here, and we actually see an offensive nasty plot Mandibuzz here, which, I mean, not going to be able to do much, unfortunately, if this Clodsire isn't aware, but I guess we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, there's no grounded poison type over there, and assuming that this thing doesn't have defog, these hazards from Pokemaster could pay dividends later on.
So this Clodsire has absolutely done some work already. We're going to see a Dark Pulse come out, and it's actually faster, but we're
Ooh,
going to see the weakness policy,
powerful.
which explains why he wanted to stay in, and another Dark Pulse will easily take out the Rotom. So that's an amazing tech from Fournaubyl there to dispatch the Rotom Heat, and still faster than Altaria as well, so it's going to take another +4 Dark Pulse, and another flinch.
You know, I'm going to be honest, I thought we watched this game. I don't think we watched this game. I don't remember any of this.
And now the, unfortunately, Ash is going to... I'm not sure why we didn't click Dark Pulse again. Maybe he just really wanted to cover the Zoroark switching out, but unfortunately we are going to now see the Roar come in, and the Lapras is not heavy-duty boots, so going to be able to take all those hazards, or forced to, rather. And the Terra Water saves the Altaria from death against the Lapras, so able to go for another Roost, and Pokemaster, in the span of like a couple turns, has completely stabilized this game now.
Yep. Life Orb and Poison rocking down on this Lapras as... Oh, the Terra Blast Electric just wipes out the Altaria.
Yep. This is why Terastallizing first can sometimes be detrimental, man. It's really tough.
Yep, they both Terra'd now. The Tinkaton is in, but it's actually the Zoroark.
That is not a Tinkaton. I don't think so.
Usually we could tell, but now we're going to have to be like, oh, that's not a Tinkaton.
Yep. All right, we're going to see the Heracross come into the Spylops now. We'll see what the Spylops wants to do here. He's going to go for... Oh, nice, powerful first impression. Is that Choice Band? I feel like that could be Choice Band.
That might just be Stakeout.
Oh, yeah, Stakeout, of course. Yep.
Yeah, pretty powerful. But Mandibuzz is almost dead to all these hazards.
Yep. Although, unfortunately for Pokemaster, though, this Mandibuzz obviously is still going to be able to outspeed the Heracross, so it will force it out, because, an Air Slash would have KO'd it, but unfortunately now for Fournaubyl, Mandibuzz is not going to be able to come back in later, because it's weak to rocks and does not have heavy-duty boots. Big Heat Wave, though, before going down to the Tinkaton.
Yeah, no burn, thankfully, for Pokemaster, but, I mean, they're both 4 and 4 right now, so... Typhlosion taking massive damage, so... Eruption shouldn't be too bad coming off of this thing.
Yep, as we're actually going to go for an Overheat here. It doesn't do much damage to this Clodsire, really. I was expecting that to do a little bit more, but maybe it's not choice specs.
Yeah.
But if it is unaware,
I thought maybe it might be a Eject Pack after that, but I guess not.
Oh, yeah. If it is unaware, that we are able to consistently keep spamming that until the Clodsire goes down, potentially. But, yep, Chris wanting to take advantage of that and potentially catch up with an Earthquake. Not going to work. Hurricane Mist, though, that's tough.
It is tough, although I have to say I think this Clodsire would have just eaten it up anyways.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Ooh, but the bait, I honestly, much more important you landed that one.
Yep, as it does actually going to be able to take out the Heracross there. Risky switch from Pokemaster that did not work out. We'll see if this Tinkaton is able to take this Kilowattrel on. That Hurricane actually 2 shots there. So Life Orb Kilowattrel, man, is so tough to switch into. Play rough, yep, also paper thin defenses, so down it goes.
Yep. Rabombi comes in, takes all these hazards. We'll see. It goes to the Quiver Dance. I mean, this thing does not really have any coverage too. Oh, the Mirror Herb. Did not see that coming as Gigaton just immediately takes that. Yeah, I mean, going for a Quiver on a Tinkaton, that's tough.
I feel like at that point you should have really waited until the Gigaton Hammer was no longer usable, because obviously it can't be used twice in a row.
Yes, but even then, I don't think it had any coverage really to take out the Tinkaton.
No, not at all.
Alright, here comes the last one, Typhlosion.
Yep,
Gonna try to force a switch.
Chris opting to go for that differential save here, but we see a Focus Mist unfortunately come out, and that doesn't do much to the Clodsire. So yeah, this is definitely, again, there's no way Typhlosion can one-shot this thing, and it appears to be choice locked, so down it goes to the Earthquake, and that is a 3-0 win for Pokemaster. We had some really sick text from Fournaubyl there, but unfortunately just wasn't quite enough.
Yep, some cool sets indeed, but that's going to be GG's to Pokemaster.
25 turns, that was a quick one.
All right, last game of the day here. We've got Danger Dave versus Stefan. Stefan fighting for their playoff spot. Danger Dave has unfortunately been eliminated at this point there, but they're going to try to finish out their season strong. We got double Damp Rocks over here score. What are we thinking?
That is very can't actually see the item on Barraskewda, unfortunately, but there's no water immunities on Stefan's side, obviously, so that Barraskewda could have a very good time, especially because it has the coverage to handle both the Tentacruel and the Brubonnet here. So that's definitely a very, very strong Pokemon in this game. And I like Colbur Berry Sinister as well, obviously. It's a very, very good one. And Danger Dave revealing the Switch 2,
on the
brother.
Switch
Joining the
Joining the
Switch 2
club.
squad, brother.
I just recently joined myself.
Absolutely. I also did not too long ago. So got a couple of BHDL coaches with Switch 2s. Stefan actually also has a Switch 2 already. So,
Oh yeah. I'm
got
trying to
the
see
gang.
the difference. I'm trying to tell. It does seem slightly better. Like I feel like the way that they're throwing the stuff out, like the animations look smoother. I think, but maybe it's just in my head.
Well, no, it's absolutely not in your head, brother. There's a very, very big difference, especially also with the way that Terrestrial is going to work in a second here. The Terrestrialization animation.
I gotta see this.
Exactly. Look at that, how much smoother that is.
Whoa, that's a big difference.
That is a big difference. Although I will say, you know, in battles, it's already noticeable. The real way you notice it is just by walking in the overworld, like in game.
When I was flying around, dude, it was like I've never been able to see this far.
So yeah, the Switch 2 graphics, definitely big improvement there. I've been absolutely loving it. You know, as you guys know, my original Violet file got lost, so I've been replaying the story recently, and with the Switch 2 graphics, that has been just a real pleasure. But anyway, back to the match.
Back to the match here.
We see the Tentacruel forcing out the Terra Fairy Bombardier here, but not before that thing was able to snag a 1-hit KO on that. What even was that? Mienshao, bro. Stefan's strongest Pokemon going down like that early, that's huge.
Yeah, the Terra Fairy Terra Blast coming off was massive there for Danger Dave. Has the Sunny Day on deck. They have both Sunny Day and Rain Dance on this set.
I was just about to question why are we damn
rock for the Day? Yeah, no wait, no, Sinister's on Danger Dave's side. I'm not oh, maybe it's for Brubonnet.
That was probably for Brubonnet, yeah. Obviously, you know, it's really, really cool because obviously the Raikou does have Weather Ball, so it can just choose whether if it wants fire coverage or water coverage.
Yeah, I mean, it takes a little bit of setup, but it can do it. Obviously, though, I mean, now the Chandelure is like, oh, this looks fantastic for me.
Absolutely, brother. I'm absolutely loving the sets of our coaches this season. You know, even some of the coaches that have not been, you know, too close to the reach of playoffs have absolutely been cooking with these sets and providing us this entertainment. So very much appreciate that. Love and Danger Dave sets, and we'll see if this Weather Ball is able to snag the kill on the
big damage, but not quite enough. As now the speed boost is coming in.
Yep, Aura Wheel also nearly snagging the KO on the Raikou there. Both now very close to fainting.
Yeah, you know, you would think, you saw it eat its little snack there, you know, you'd think it would, they should give it a little boost, you know, like an automatic leftovers, you know what I mean? It should change its type, but also give it a little bit of healing in return.
Yeah, that would honestly be cool, because Morpeko, not the best Pokemon in the world, unfortunately.
Yeah, I could use all the help I get.
Completely forgot this was Stefan's Terra Castles. We're actually going to Terra Grass now. Good call not doing that earlier when the Terra Fire Weather Ball was about to come out. Well, not Terra Fire, but Sunny Boosted Weather Ball. As another Aura Wheel will get another speed boost and able to take out the Raikou. So
does this cancel out the change?
I was just about to say that actually, because I don't think Pokemon can change forms after they've Terrestrialized. I wonder if this cancels out Hunger Switch.
So I would guess that means the Aura Wheel is stuck as an electric type move now.
So the Bombardier is going to come out here. Stefan obviously was able to set up Toxic Spikes before, so we see the Bombardier get poisoned there, courtesy of no longer being a flying type, as Stefan grabs some momentum with Volt Switch.
In comes this thing, takes decent damage from the knockoff, honestly, but this poison is starting to rack up over here. It needs to figure out how they're going to deal with it.
Yeah, that was big damage, considering that the Tentacruel's item is already gone, so definitely showing that things, you know, frailty on the physical side.
Yeah, but the poison just continues to spread throughout Danger Dave's team as long as we got Weather Ball, Encore, Parasol. This is a crazy Politoed set. Wolfie BGC would be proud.
We're seeing Politoed. We're seeing
all normal type
Tentacruel. Yeah, but we're seeing like this dynamic of Politoed versus Tentacruel, you know, Rain Dish Tentacruel stalling out. Is this fucking Gen 5 OU?
You know what? It's a throwback. It's a throwback. We love to see it as we have a bulk up set on the Beartic.
Ooh, I'm loving this Swift Swim bulk up Beartic set here. Isaac not going to do much at all. I'm wondering why Stefan's going for that. Maybe just trying to get some chip.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Although it was Encore, of course. My bad.
Oh yeah, Encore. Yeah, the heavy duty boots keeping this thing from getting poisoned. As a big surf comes off though now.
Yep, Rain Booster, definitely going to be putting this Beartic in range of some potential priority there, but they're still loving the set here as another Icicle Crash will take down the Tentacruel. So this Beartic is in potential to do some damage.
Absolutely. The rain is still up, so we'll see what it can do here. The Firecracker comes in. So just Scarf. No. Oh, it has a barrier. Is that enough? It's not enough,
Not enough,
Scarf.
I don't think.
But the
Nope,
flame
nope.
body.
Oh, the flame body. I mean, Stefan, obviously the Pasho Bear was not enough to save the Chandelure, but he was able to get the flame body out. So Stefan, recognizing he was potentially in a bit of trouble against this bear tick, makes that sacrifice, and it does work out, which now actually puts Danger Dave in a potentially dangerous situation against this Farigiraf.
Yeah, this Farigiraf, we've seen what this thing can do. I mean, it's not even the last. He's still got 2 other Pokemon besides this Farigiraf. So this is going to be tough here. But at the very least, it's not able to set up yet. So you have to try. It has chipped it. Now you need to take this thing out as fast as possible before it can set up.
Yep, as we also see Low Kick come out from Stefan. So this is a mixed or even physical Farigiraf here. So beautiful set. Wondering if this has some kind of like unique strategy to break through the rest of the Dave's team here.
They've got the Perish Song on deck. So it's like, you are not getting this set up yet. And Stefan's like, you know what? It's fine. I don't need it set up yet. I've got 2 other mons that can save the Farigiraf for later.
Absolutely, and the Barraskewda, of course, keep in mind, is also still in the back. So depending on the monster he gets weakened here, that mon could definitely end game.
Yep, reveals the Trailblaze from the Brute Bonnet. Although this does force the Polytip to take more chip. I would presume that either way they're gonna try to switch it on the last turn. So, but at least get to scout for the move.
Absolutely. All right, Polytop's going to be withdrawn here, as we're going to see the Sinistcha come back in. Obviously, weak to the Snake's Dark move, we did see a Colbert Berry before, and Stefan's going to go for triple. A lot of Trailblazing in this game, lots of setting up. Very, very quick game. I like it.
Yes, the Trick Room's done, but I think this game will hopefully teach Danger Dave to, 1, always try to get a good grounded poison that you can bring to your games, and B, have a rapid spinner.
But he does obviously have the Toxicroak on his squad, I believe, unless he traded that away and I forgot about it.
Oh, that's right. No, he does have the Toxicroak, but he just didn't bring it.
Yep.
Ooh, but the Sap Sipper, as the screen gets frozen there. Usually, I use Arpatel almost every week, so I understand why I might not run it, but I mean, at the same time, Danger Dave doesn't have that much priority. I mean, I guess he does have Sucker Punch, potentially, that he could have brought on the Bombardier, but he doesn't even have it. So now we're in a position where, because of the lack of priority, this thing is just tough now.
Absolutely. As first of all, I love the fact that this Barraskewda is called Magikarp. It is heavy-duty boots, though, so it's going to be a bit of a tricky one whether it's going to be able to take out this Farigiraf. I believe Trick Room was gone. Yep, it is indeed. So Liquidation does threaten a big move on this thing. Oh, but the Psychic Fang's unfortunately going to take it out. Oh, it was still up. Excuse me. So yeah, this Farigiraf potentially just endgaming right here. But I believe the reason why it was Sap Zipper to touch on that for a second is because, yeah, the Ghost immunity, good as if being a normal type,
would just wall it.
Exactly, it walls the Sinistcha. It walls the Sinistcha completely. So yeah, now that the Sinistcha is the last Pokemon, this is game.
Now Farigiraf walls the Sinistcha.
Absolutely, a Psychic is going to come off, and yep, even Strength Sap does not even work anymore. That's a very funny interaction. As down it goes, and once again, Stefan's Farigiraf putting in the work and getting an endgame sweep. GG's to both sides.
GG's. Alright, so we got 2 games here that we were not able to see. We got Cody versus Arcane Niner. Palmont absolutely putting in work for Cody over here. Milotic as well. Even the Gligar still holding its own. Able to get the dub there for Cody. What are we thinking here?
Definitely looks like it was a solid match. Unfortunately, not able to see this one against these 2 refined gentlemen, if so to speak. Neufern also once again getting 2 KOs here, so definitely fighting its way back up the kill leaderboard, which we're going to see and have a look at in a minute. But it looks like Palmont, despite the Donphan being out, actually put in a lot of work, which kind of surprises me because it doesn't have the best matchup into Arcane team, but also not the worst. I guess it's a pretty good neutral Pokemon. But yeah, Cody definitely finding the opportunities to bring it in. And actually, we also see 2 kills on the Milotic, so it must have had some kind of way to get around the Vaporeon as well.
Yeah, I mean, if we look at it, I would say that it might be because of how much pivoting Cody's team has. You know, like flip turn Milotic, U-turn Pheasantipity, U-turn Serena, U-turn Gligar, getting the stuff in, and then being able to like get it to where Palmont can, or Milotic might have been able to take out Donphan, and then Palmont took out Vaporeon, and just weakening Arcaniner's teams at the point where Cody could get the dub.
Absolutely.
And then our second game over here, we have Zeus versus Anna. and it would seem as though the Luxray wasn't able to get any kills, but the team overall got the dub regardless. So we see the power of Hitmontop apparently into Anna's team.
Absolutely, BDC. We also see both Cleaver, Sylveon, and Empoleon all getting kills. So it looks like it was actually a pretty solid match, sort of back and forth here. No real surprises on Anna's side, although we did see a Tar Cat come off the bench once again. I think that was like the 2 weeks in a row that she's brought that thing now. Not actually a terrible choice though, because there's a lot of intimidate value you can have against Zeus's team. But yeah, unfortunately not quite enough for her to be able to snag the win there. Shame we couldn't see the game, but looks like it was a good one. But yep, Anna did do the thing that not many other coaches can say they did, which is slay the Luxray and deny any kills.
Yep, yeah, absolutely, and that might be even more painful to Zeus than just a loss. Yep. So
you ain't overtaken Lunala yet, buddy.
No, not yet. Now we take a look at our standings, and we can see with only 1 week left, I mean, we're solidifying the top part of the bracket here, but it's that middle. Look at all those 4 and 4 scores. I mean, nothing is solid here in the middle.
It is very, very funny to me though how one person has +2 differential, another person has -4 differential. There's a lot of back and forths there.
Yeah, and I mean, I do believe that Aprater, Danger Dave, and Fournaubyl have all been eliminated, but everybody else above that is still, even if it's just a slight chance with like H.I.M and B-Nard at 3 and 5, there's still a chance they could come back. And people like Al and Kingbura here are going to be fighting over that 4th spot. Although I guess it doesn't really, all the actually I need is the top 3 to be able to pick their opponents. So.
Absolutely. Also, I will just quickly point out that Pokemaster 88 currently at that +22 differential. That is huge. He's definitely been having an extremely, really solid season. Really coming in his own here, the low tiers league, and especially with some of his, urgent or I guess kryptonites in the past, like myself and Raymond not being around, he can really, really just find his footing. And I wouldn't be surprised if he takes home the trophy this season. Though similarly, Cody, even though being overtaken, also still at +20. So definitely both fighting hard, and I think in the last week it's going to be a bit of a fight between like who gets the first seed after that and who gets to pick their first opponent. On the other side at the end though, we also have Fournaubyl 1 loss away from having the, as B-Nard often says, quote-unquote perfect season with 0-9, which is a little bit of a shame, I guess, but Fournaubyl has definitely not been like short on delivering entertainment with us here. So
it's all training. Listen, I mean, we've had people come in here that like their first couple seasons, like they might not have been as good, but then they've just continued to improve.
Absolutely. So yeah, we really appreciate his presence here, and hopefully if he does come back for another season, he'll do well.
Yes. Let's take a look at the percentages over here real quick, just to kind of show, so we can see that, like we said, Pokemaster, Cody, Lazyboi, we see like 81% chance there even to keep that top 3 spot. But then we go all the way down, it starts to get less and less certain as we go. But I mean, just look at all the people like Brandon, DrVr, Arcaniner, Zeus, Stefan, Anna, H.I.M, B-Nard. All these folks are fighting it for what is that, I guess 3 spots that are more or less open here. And it's going to be interesting. This last week, it's going to be a lot of important games.
Absolutely. I feel like one of the biggest things here as well, just in general, is with the week 9, there's quite a handful of coaches whose fate of making it into playoffs is not entirely in their own hands anymore. There's going to be a lot riding on the wall on who wins and who loses in week 9, especially with some of the matchups that we have that we'll take a look at in a second. So definitely that middle row, probably feeling the anxiety a little bit, depending on do I make it into playoffs, and even if I do, which seed am I going to end up in, and who's going to choose me?
Yeah. It's going to be very interesting. Before we take a look at the schedule, let's take a look real quick at the leaderboards like we were alluding to earlier, where you see that Noivern has officially overtaken the Luxray score. And not only that, look at young Tauros Blaze at top 3.
Absolutely. We love to see it. H.I.M have been piloting that Pokemon like an absolute champ this season. 12 and 3, very, very impressive stats. And Emerald, as we alluded to earlier, the Zora arc is still undefeated.
I know. That's crazy. Hasn't died yet. Its other forms have died. It's other people trying to pose. It's posing as might have died, but it itself is still good to go.
Yep, and you gotta respect it because it came off the bench this week as well. Like it's not even like he's been keeping it in the back. Obviously, he does only have 4 games as opposed to all the others who have a minimum of 6.
But that's
or actually 5.
honestly makes it even more impressive. He was able to get that far in 4 games.
Absolutely. So yeah, definitely hoping to see more of it. And maybe Chris can like make that, because again, Chris's first seat as well. It's not even like he's been like just holding back with this Mon. And yeah, not bringing it. Like, I mean, the 4 games again, not that much, but he's been putting in the work. And let's see if this thing can actually go flawless in the final week as well, for a completely deathless regular season.
Yeah, and so like, because I'm just wondering, is the kill leaderboard still going to be tabulating the kills throughout playoffs then?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, yeah, because I mean, like H.I.M's Tauros Blaze, the Luxray, the Noivern, like some of these guys, like we don't know if they're gonna make it to playoffs or not. So that could really put a damper on some of these guys that might just fall off. As some of the like we see Al and Lazyboi and Kodio here, even Farigiraf's down there too. That all might rise up in playoffs.
Like once we get in playoffs, I can see the Skeletors, for example, and the Zora are climbing up even further. Whereas some of the Pokemon like the Farigiraf obviously is no longer going to get anything. Neither is the Tauros. So we might be looking at a very different list in a bit.
Yeah, depending on who makes it, we'll see. And with that, then let's take a look now at our playoffs. Week 9 schedule here. Probably the most important game is going to be Arcaniner versus Anna, as both of these guys are right around the middle. And it's going to determine a lot of stuff for other coaches in terms of differential. Aprater versus Cody, that's going to be a fun, cool game, but it won't matter as much. It might just matter for... Yeah, well, I guess it does matter for Cody's position. It really only matters for him, though. Al versus H.I.M, that's very important. H.I.M needs a win here to have a chance of making it. Fournaubyl versus DrVr is important as well, because DrVr is in contention. Brandon versus Kingbura, incredibly important for Brandon making it and Kingbura's position. Stefan versus Pokemaster, very important once again. And Day versus Lazyboi is pretty much just to determine where Lazyboi is at in the top 3. Yep,
definitely high stakes games here. We will be able to see the majority of them as well, footage-wise, which I'm very excited to see. Unfortunately, Arcaniner versus Anna, definitely 2 coaches that I would be looking forward to seeing face off. Not going to have footage of that one. But definitely excited for these matches, and definitely I think game of the week for me personally, at least, with my personal bias, would be Brandon versus Kingbura. 2 very, very solid individuals, and also fighting for those playoff spots. So
yeah, we get both POVs on that one.
Exactly. So look forward to that in the next week's recap.
Yes, absolutely. And with that, that is going to the end of week 8. So be sure to check out the coaches. We do record these like a week behind. So, I mean, go sure to check out their channels, and you might see where we're at for playoffs already at this point.
Absolutely, yeah. We got some Week 9 replays up already. We're not trying to spoil them here, but some of them have already happened. The doc has already been updated for our coaches here. So we've definitely seen some big contentions. But yeah, once we get into Week 9, I think we might actually be able to get the quarterfinals bracket in there as well, because we're going to have the coaches announce their opponents when that happens. So look forward to that. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Thank you for watching. Be sure to subscribe to the Battle Hub Draft League YouTube channel as well, and we'll see you guys next time.
See you then. Bye-bye.